Hello YouTubes, this is Grimweird coming back at you again with more Enigmatica 2 Expert Mod Pack playthrough for Minecraft 1.12.2. As always, we are joined by my lovely assistant, Zombie Steve. So last time we set up a little sort of semi-automated mob farm here. We've got the Industrial Foregoing Mob Crusher crushing the spawns from this zombie spawner, turning them into essence, of which we have 107 drums worth of essence already, and then dumping the items they drop down into this cascade of hoppered chests. So I have, since the last episode, I took about, I would guess, maybe 30-40 minutes to, I'm going to go sleep real quick. It took about 30-40 minutes, and it appears the chests have filled up. I can't remember if it was 30 or 40. So a Minecraft day is about 10 minutes. I checked in every 10 minutes or so, and slept just to make sure I didn't do anything weird with my solar power to that network. And I can't remember if that was 3 times or 4 times, but regardless, I think it's been about 30 or 40 minutes, and we are filling up. In fact, yeah, we're filling up something fierce. That may be about the last of our storage. So if we take a look in here, I'm going to go ahead and highlight flux items because the gold helmet and the flux helmet look pretty similar. So we did get a flux-infused sword. Again, I'm sort of hoping to get the flux-infused chest and helmet. We got a golden helmet. It does have projectile protection 4 on it. I might just suck that off with the enchantment extractor. But yeah, a lot of stuff here. And if we look at the backed up hopper, a lot of stuff there. We did get another pair of the flux-infused leggings. I already have one of those, but it's good to have a spare just in case, probably. And here we got another pair of the boots and the chest, which is good. The chest was the thing I was most after, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. And check this hopper. Yeah. And in here we got stuff. So things are backing up here. So we are going to go ahead and let's see, just teleport upstairs, and we're going to select channel 3. No. Yeah. What I really want to do is, one of the reasons I could have made a separate energy channel for this is so that I could just turn off the energy to the mob slaughter, the mob crusher. But instead what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete that for a moment. So then I will have to repower it by restarting that back up. But anyway, this should now run down on power as it uses up. It's still got a lot of power, and we still got a lot of stuff. Let's try and clear some of this stuff up. I assume it's just leaving things on the ground out there now. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and pull some stuff out of here just so we can try and get some room in there again so we don't leave stuff sitting around. It's going to take a while to depower this bad boy. So I'm going to just do some wholesale moving of things up to one of these other things here. So we got, let's see, what all do I want to put in there? Keep that on me. That. Yoink. creating so much junk. So one of the things I'll talk about here once I sort of get this under control is I took a look at the arc furnace. It uses like 2500 RF per tick, which is an awful lot. It is a big beast and takes a lot of stuff to make that I'm not in the mood to make. So the arc furnace would be able to give us some relief here. If we take a look at a lot of this stuff, if you hover over it and hit U, it'll show you its uses. And one of the things you can do with it is throw it in an arc furnace and recycle it. So turn these boots, for instance, into 4 ironwood ingots. While in theory that's good, at 2560 IF per tick for 20 ticks, that's a lot of juice, and I don't even know if I need that, a lot of ironwood ingots, so right at the moment I'm going to hold off on that. The other thing is that I noticed I only got maybe like 2 or 3 pieces of flux-infused and only 1 or 2 pieces of Psymetal exosuit, which I think is another armor set that I'm interested in learning more about. I don't really know anything about Psi. So I think those are sort of the rarer drops in this, and so it's possible that I could make that fortune add-on to this machine and get a little better drop rates of the better armor. However, it's pretty expensive. It's like 6 emeralds, and which I'm not sure if my mine is actually picking up emeralds yet, my digital miner. So I'm probably going to hold off on that. I did get the chest piece and some boots and an extra pair of legs. So bottom line is I could probably just sort of let this run through another whole set of this, fill up all this stuff with junk to sort out later, and finish it up. The thing that's going to happen is another round of this is probably going to fill up my iron drums of liquid essence, and so I got to figure out what to do with that. So I'm creating a bunch of crap that I don't know what to do with. What else did I look into? I looked briefly into keeping this chunk loaded through some sort of means. I think there are things you can do, tricks you can use, but nothing simple and easy like on a multiplayer server, so I think I'm just gonna not. So much stuff. One thing I can do is pull all this flesh out of here, this rotten flesh out of here, and I think that can be, let's pull some out and check. I think that can be compacted into blocks of rotten flesh or something. So that'll make me some room here. Let's see what that does. Can't remember if that's a 2x2 or a 3x3 recipe. Must be a 3x3. We can give that a shot. So yeah. Good stuff. I got my chest piece, so this has been good from that standpoint. I do have a nano suit helmet, so I could always turn that into, if I hit U on that, it can be crafted into the flux-infused helmet. This flux armor, let's see, this would require that, and that would require a fluid transposer. And a fluid transposer is something I could make. Would I use it for anything else? I would probably find other uses for a fluid transposer. And let's see. So I could make my helmet if I need to. I think I'm going to let this play out one more time and see if I can get more junk. See if I can get the helmet the easy way. But anyway, you guys don't need to watch me to manage all of this mess. So I'm going to get this all cleaned up to the point where it's running again without me worrying about it for another half hour or so. And in fact, I think I might go watch some TV and just let it run out. Let this play out until all these boxes are full, which is going to take another hour or so. And then we'll take a look at the results, boil down the situation, do a play-by-play and after-action report, see what the X's and O's tell us, etc., and then decide what to do from there. So after a brief jump cut where we deal with this and let this run another half an hour or so, we will put our final pin in this donkey or something. Alright, be back in a second. Alright, we are back. This has been going on for a while. I did some organization here, broke out my crafting table, pulled out any of the monster drop stackables, turn this off. So this is what we've got running it until the barrel filled up. So the iron drum has 256 buckets of essence. One important thing to note is that it continues to kill things even when the barrel fills up, and it continues to harvest them. So that I thought was interesting and good news, since I don't know what to do with all the life essence yet. So we got that going on. Other interesting news, if we take a look, yeah, it's continuing to do this. I'm going to let it run and see if it continues to kill and continues to just drop stuff if this fills up. Some of the highlights of what we got, so you can see there's tons of crap here, all sorts of stuff. What I have deleted is I have deleted leather armor because you can recycle that to get leather, but I don't need to. And I also deleted the iron because you can, I think, arc furnace that into iron ore, but I don't need to. So I deleted leather, iron, and also any tinker construct weapons or tools that showed up. So I kept tools like the intermedium sword or the platinum sword in case I want to try and melt those down at some point. But I deleted a few of the more tinker's construct-y type stuff that I don't believe you can get anything out of. So for instance, this pig iron broadsword, if I mouse over it and hit U, no window even comes up. I don't think there's any way to pull anything out of that. And so I've been deleting, and there may have been like about a dozen of them over the course of filling up these a couple times. So if we look up here, this is what we've gotten from filling up that barrel and deleting what we deleted. So we've got a ton of everything. We did even finally get a bunch of psi metal exosuit. Again, I don't know what that is. I'm not familiar with psi at all. I know you can attach spells to it, and that happens. So I'm sort of interested just to see what that stuff is. And we did end up getting some pieces of that. I think we got everything but the helmet, and I think that was what happened the last time I tried this on my trial run of this mod pack too. It's like it got everything on psi metal except the helmet, so that might be the helmet might be a special drop or may not be on here. So you can see we got just tons and tons of stuff. One of the things I wanted to point out was, so again, if I mouse over the Flux-Infused sword, it is apparently used to make some sort of frickin' laser beam from Plethora, and also the diamond spikes. So I'm glad I checked that before I got rid of it, because I may want to, if I make a more advanced and automatic mob farm, I might want to try out these diamond spikes. I'm not sure what those are, but might be fun to try. The other thing that I wanted to say is that I got everything I wanted except the helmet. So I did get a chest plate, a flux-infused chest plate. I got backups of both the leggings and the boots. Didn't get a helmet. I did want to point out this. So quantum suit boots, I think, are basically the next step beyond. So the nano suit is nice, but you can't enchant it, which makes the flux infused a bit better. Because while I don't think I don't think it's got as much of the armor toughness, the diamond colored 2 stuff there, you can enchant it. So, but this is apparently the best of both worlds in that I think you can have both the armor toughness and you can load it up with energy so that it will not take durability hits, and it's enchantable. If I mouse over it and hit U, it takes enchantments. So I didn't know quantum suit boots could be done. Again, if we take a look at them on how they're made, so you actually use flux-infused boots and rubber boots and lapotron crystals and iridium reinforced plates, which I don't even have iridium yet, to make these. So I'm guessing this is the next step up. So I'm glad I got a piece of that. I might actually upgrade my feet to those, and I will definitely keep an eye open for more of that. So now my thing is filled up, so I'm assuming I'm leaving stuff lying around out there, which bugs me, but it's better than not having nothing at all. But I just can't let stuff just sit there. I'd rather not kill the monsters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to depower this thing for now until I figure out a better thing to do. So I'm going to go here and just delete the power edition. Now this thing does have an 80,000 RF buffer. 50,000. But it's probably going to keep on cooking for quite some time, even without getting new power. But anyway, I stepped away for a bit, and I did get some blitz rod and niter. So I got a blitz in there, I got a skeleton in there, I got some gunpowder, so I must have had a creeper in there. So I stepped away, got far enough away that some other monsters spawned in here. I was able to, so the inferium will condense down to blocks of inferium, and the rotten flesh will compact into blocks of flesh. So that sort of cleaned that up a bit. What else is there to talk about with this thing? I think that's about it. So talking about what to do next, the arc furnace is a pain. It's big and it's bulky and it's whatever. So I wanted to investigate other things you could do with this stuff. So if I mouse over this, some of these, not this one, but like for instance the nightly helm, it shows that in addition to the arc furnace supposedly being able to tear it apart, the melter can do it. So the melter is sort of like a little small version of the smeltery. And so I made one of those just to try it. Now it says it needs 581 degrees C, but I don't know what these things on the tooltip don't tell you how hot or cold they are. I thought maybe since it was showing lava, that lava would be hot enough. I don't think that's the case, or I'm not even sure if this is applicable. So let's go back to the base and I'll show you what I mean. Oops. What did I just do? I just did something. There it is. Okay. So if we go back to the base, so I just wanted to try again. The whole reason I'm doing an expert mod pack when I'm not an expert is to just try new things and explore stuff. So here we have a Tinker's Construct melter. And if we look at it here, because this is an important safety tip, place above a heater or seared tank to fuel. So first important safety tip is, here's a seared tank. I placed it above the seared tank, and I came up with my bucket of lava, and as one does with the smeltery, I tried to click the lava bucket into the seared tank, and it went thunk and placed the lava block right here. And of course I didn't have anything at hand to deal with it, and it even wouldn't even let me pick it up back up in the bucket. So something weird was going on there. And it lit this wall on fire, and so then I had to like I think I killed my fire charm probably. Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe it didn't work for lava. Anyway, bottom line was I was standing here on fire trying to put my wall out before I burned the whole fort down, and ended up having to run over, grab a block of wood, and slam it down on the lava to kill it. So important safety tip, once you put your melter on top of a seared tank, instead of just clicking lava into the seared tank, open this bad boy up, and it actually goes into the top block here of this 2-block structure. But another reason I wanted to show you guys this was that if we look at this, so if we go U, and then we go melter, it says it'll melt down into molten night metal. 581C is what it talks about. Again, I don't know what the lava is in this mod pack, but if I throw this up here, it does nothing. Item can't be molten. And I say that because the other thing that I was looking to do here is, if I don't get a flux-infused helmet and have to make it myself, one of the things I need to do is get some destabilized molten redstone. And if we go U and look at the melter, it says that redstone ore can be melted down to destabilized redstone. And it says it's 0 degrees C. So again, I put this up here and it says not enough heat to melt this item. So not exactly sure what's going on here. This looked like, even though the recipe said it would work, it won't work at all. This, even though it says 0 degrees C, which is freezing, and lava's got to be hotter than 0 degrees C, it says it's not hot enough. So not exactly sure what's going on with the melter. So this little experiment, while interesting, turned out to be a massive failure. I'm going to leave it here. I might try some other things. Liquid starlight, which is what we get when we put aquamarine in here, and we get this stuff. This is usually really cold, but somebody when I googled, somebody said it's hot on this one, so maybe liquid starlight would work. Maybe pyrotheum from nether would work. A lot of people are suggesting UU matter from Industrial Craft 2, but I haven't gotten there yet. So I'm just going to keep this in my back pocket. I'll probably leave it where it is. Take this back downstairs. And I'm probably going to stop pursuing stuff because I have these now all filled up with crap. And I've got, although now I got to think to look and see if there's any quantum in here. I don't think there is. I think I would have noticed. Yeah, there's no quantum in here. Anyway, so so I got a ton of this armor stuff. I may just go ahead and make the so if we go uses, make the flux-infused helm, which requires making this stuff, which, as I was just talking about, requires the let's see, what is it I'm looking for? So this is what I think I need to get, is destabilized redstone, and I need to infuse that into an electrum ingot. And if I look at how I get this melter, apparently not going to work. At least not work with lava, and if lava is not hot enough, then I don't know what is. Um, so these don't drop. The destabilized cloth rate, I don't think, drop on this. We could double check that, but it's only generated on other planets, so I don't want to wait that long. So that doesn't drop in the overworld or nether, so we got to go to another planet. So basically, I know this works because I tried this in my test run of this mod pack. So a magma crucible, you can just throw redstone in there um, and get the destabilized redstone that way. So I need to build a magma crucible, and if we go back, if we go back, I want a fluid infuser. So these are both doable. It's just going to take a bit of time to make all the stuff for it, but it's nothing new and exotic. I think I have everything to make all of this stuff. I just got to get her done. So if I make the fluid infuser and if I make the magma crucible to get this, I think that covers it. We also got to do this, but the magma crucible will make this, and then I can just bucket it out of the magma crucible and combine it with a couple of diamonds to get this. So it's only 2 machines and some stuff to turn this into a flux infused, and then I can put all my enchantments on it. So that's something I'm going to do, and I might just do that off screen now that I've explained what I'm doing, and then show you guys the results. But I did think of 2 important safety tips. Be careful when you're putting lava into a melter, and also be careful about some of these recipes may not work in this mod pack. Like, I'm not 100% sure this will work at all, even though it says it does. And I'm not sure if 0 degrees is not hot enough. If this isn't 0 degrees Celsius, then I'm not sure what will work here. So use the melter and its recipes at your own risk. I will revisit it when I have some hotter stuff, or some other of this strange and exotic things that you can put in there as a fuel source. But on the whole, don't count on it. Alright, so and now it's got me intrigued. This quantum suit stuff, which has basically, it's like flux infused with rubber boots. Those shouldn't be hard to make, I would assume. Yeah, I could do that. Iridium. Now, iridium I don't think I have or I'm going to get. I think that maybe only comes on different planets or only converted from different things. Europa, Kelt, Stella, Terra Nova. Yeah, I think iridium is a different planets only kind of thing. Unless you're lucky enough to find enough iridium nuggets in loot chests, which I think I've got several, but not enough to, do anything serious with. You might be able to pull it out with some other mod or in some other way. But off the top of my head, I'm going to guess that I'm not going to get iridium. Oh, well, here, hold on. Hold on. What do we got here? Platinum ore and cinnabar. That's both doable. Makes platinum ingots and a 100% chance of an iridium ingot. Hold the fort. This may actually be doable. So that's something I'll keep in mind, is an induction smelter, and maybe I'll be able to snake some of that after all. That's why it's important, especially in a mod pack with so many mods and with so much interconnectedness and with some changed recipes. I always like to use that U function and click on stuff to see how it's made, mouse over stuff and hit U to see where it's used. because you never know quite what you're going to find with this big of a mod pack selection and altered recipes. So maybe iridium is, pardon me, had to cough. Maybe iridium isn't impossible before going to other planets after all. So I'll look into that a bit more. But Lepotron circuit, that is doable. Huh. All right. Yeah, that's doable. All right, something to keep in mind. I want to make an induction smelter anyway, because there's a couple good recipes with that. So, in addition to making a magma crucible and a fluid infuser or whatever that other one was, I might try and bust out the induction smelter, and then play around with those machines to see what I can do here. Because it looks like quantum suit boots, this quantum suit set, once once fully enchanted, might be as good as I'm going to get until I get up to stuff like Wyvern and whatnot. So one thing is, I mentioned earlier that when I'm when I'm getting all of these drops, that I had heard a recommendation that you keep sets of all the different armor types, because you'll need them for in-game armor. So here's an example of that. So the Wyvern boots, and I guess Wyvern are in-game stuff. You need the quantum boots, you need Manulum boots, Supremium, Terra Steel, Boron Nitride, chain boots, which I've heard getting a set of chain is actually one of the harder parts because you can't make it, I don't think. So you have to get it as monster drops. And then Ironwood, Steel Leaf, Nightly, Yeti boots, Arctic boots. So that's something to keep in mind if you're following along and making your own mob farm, is that you want to try and keep a set of stuff. So whatever I decide to do with all this junk, I will definitely set aside sets of stuff and hold on to it in case I need it later. Alright, so I'm babbling at this point, but I think that has been a good... we got one of the armor pieces we need. We got the chest. That's downstairs waiting for enchantments. And we got a piece of stuff that is even better than what we're wearing. Surprisingly, I didn't know quantum suit stuff dropped from monsters. It must be pretty rare because I hadn't seen it before. So things are going well here. I'm going to go ahead and run out and check on my digital miner. So that was another thing that happened in between the first scene and the recent scene for here, was that I stopped by occasionally to sleep. Okay, this bad boy's done. Good, good. So we're going to stop that, and we're going to head downtown to Craft Town. So one of the things I keep an eye on, since this here, this drawer is to the left of and closest to my drawer controllers. When things spill out that don't have homes to go to, they end up there. So things that I have now busted with my digital miner is I came back and found that full of redstone. So I had to put in an expansion into my storage expansion into my redstone. So we've got 12,500 redstone now. The other one that sort of busted out was copper. This was already upgraded, and even with it upgraded, I need to put in another one because we get 4,600 iron, which explains why I was throwing away the iron pieces that dropped off of monsters. So the good news is that we have gone from feeling very cramped prior to the digital miner and how much ore we have, to now feeling like I have plenty. I was really fighting to get enough osmium going to work on some of the mechanism stuff, like our induction matrix upstairs, and now I've got 1150 ore from osmium, so that's great. One disappointment from this run was I'm still only at 16 emeralds, so apparently this thing is not picking up emeralds from the redwood forest, nor the redwood forest edge. Um, so I was pretty sure that that emeralds dropped in most forests and then also the extreme hills. But I think just to be sure, because I would like to get some more emeralds here, I've got like, 600 and some odd diamonds and no emeralds. Um, I think I will go ahead and go put the digital miner in some extreme hills this time. There is not any super close by, I don't think. Um, I think there's a little patch of it up to the north. Um, I think there's a little patch out here somewhere. Anyway, I'll have to mouse around. You can see down at the bottom, down in here, I'm looking to see what the cursor is hovering over. And I know I've got a patch of, there's some extreme hills. So that's not too bad. That's quite a bit north, but I can get up there pretty easy with the glider. So I'm going to head out here for the next round of the digital miner and see if I can get some emeralds. So what else is going on? I was mostly doing AFK stuff, working on other things, while I just had my guy standing around getting drops. So what I'm going to do now is probably play around with enchanting. Um, I have 62 levels of experience, and I have now my Flux-Infused chest piece and some spares of the boots and leggings. So I'm going to play around with enchanting and get this all enchanted up. One of the more exciting ones is going to be block reach. So block reach will go, looks like on your chest or on the elytra, however you say that. Some sort of flying thing that I'm not familiar with from Cyclic. So I'm going to put that on the chest, and that's going to be fun. So I'm going to play around with this between this episode and next. You guys don't need to watch that. If you go back to my Absolutely Enchanting episode from, I don't know, several episodes ago, you can see how I play around here to get all these books and how I mine the lists here to see what I can get. Like, for instance, I don't want to just get Unbreaking 3 not knowing what else there is to get, because Unbreaking 3 is pretty easy to get. But if I start deactivating books, I will then be able to see what else is available. Deactivate the 3 in the corner. Now we're down to Last Stand. So yeah, what I want to get on the Flux Infuse is Holding 4, which turns it from a charge of 800,000 RF to a charge of 2.4 million RF, like these leggings. So I want to get Holding 4 on Unbreaking and Block Reach and one of the protections, like maybe Protection 4. A bunch of stuff like that on there. And then I will feel almost as happy defensively as I am offensively with my laser gun. I'm babbling now. I'm going to play around with enchantments for a while before bed, off camera. And when I start up the next episode, I will show you what I got and we'll move on to something else. Talk to you next time. Bye.